My name is Michelle Aldrich, and I've been a user of marijuana since about 1967 in Texas. We ran a group in '72 called Amorphia. We wanted free legal backyard marijuana. We sold Acapulco Gold rolling papers, and all profits went to legalize marijuana, and we did the first initiative in California in 1972, and we got 33% of the vote. And it showed there was a constituency. That's why George Moscone, who was head of the Senate Select Committee, came down and said, that's 33% of the vote of California. Wait a minute, that's a lot of people. You know, that can be a real swing vote. So that's when, at that time, marijuana was a felony for a possession of one joint. You wouldn't think of it now, but it was. And we reduced to a citable misdemeanor, $100 fine. Well, I helped write Proposition 215, which made marijuana legal, medical marijuana legal in California, and which actually started the whole impetus to do what we have today and is growing around the world. But what really changed my whole life was about 5 years ago when I was diagnosed with stage 3A lung cancer. I put it out on Facebook, and the first person that responded was Jeannie Harrer. And she says, have you tried cannabis oil? And my response was, gee, I don't know, where do we get it? And she said, Valerie at Wham. And I went, oh, okay. Well, Val and I were on the board of California Normal together, and we were having a board meeting on Saturday. So I said, hey, Val, bring me some oil. And, you know, so she wrote up the directions about this one drop, this, and the build-up. And I took 50% THC oil for 90 days, and it killed the cancer. I had the 4 chemos, and then they did a CT scan to see if anything had happened. The lymph nodes were totally dead, and the tumor was reduced by 50%. And they said, oh, good, let's go in and take out 2 lobes of your lung. And I said, well, hey, let's not. And I said, I only have a month more of the cannabis oil treatment, and see, you can tell how much it's really worked. And they said, yeah, we can do that for a month. And I thought, well, for doctors, that's, you know, thank you. And within a month, the tumor was dead. I can declare I am totally cured of cancer. And it's cannabis oil. And it's cannabis oil that keeps me alive. I think there's something in the endocannabinoid system that triggers something to let one cell grow that just multiplies, and the DNA mutates into a cancer cell. But once you get the endocannabinoid system back in functioning, which is what you do from, you know, doing as much THC that I happen to have had, you get it functioning where it actually attacks it. It was killing the cells by cutting off the blood supplies. People call me now and they say, oh, I want CBD and it'll cure me. And I'm going, what type of cancer do you have? And it works on breast cancer and it works on brain cancer. But on lung cancer, on liver cancer, on skin cancer, it doesn't work. It's THC. We have to have the entourage effect. They both have to work together. But I mean, I took 50% THC oil and less than 1% of CBD. And it took me 3.5 months. And apoptosis happens all the time. Cell gets old and goes, oh, I'm dead. But with cancer cells, they keep growing. And what the apoptosis does, it cuts off the blood supply to the tumor. And that's one of the ways that apoptosis happens. And that's what the endocannabinoid system does, and the THC. The surgeon said, he said it died from the inside out. I've known Nancy Pelosi for over 20 years, and she actually changed her mind and voted for the first time for medical marijuana legalization through Congress and started pushing it through the Democratic Central Committee, as did her daughter, Christine Pelosi. When you're working on marijuana legalization, that's what you do, is you change the minds of the politicians. And that's one of the things I was lucky enough to change Nancy's mind. I was at her soiree that she has every January for her supporters, and I said, "Nancy, I have lung cancer." And she just hugged me, and Nancy changed her mind on the issue. That's what it takes. It takes someone personal to go to each congressman. The new thing on the web is Nancy Reagan was against stem cell research until Ronnie got Alzheimer's, and it can just go on until it's personal with them. Supposedly, if you smoke marijuana over all these years, you won't get Alzheimer's. But it's the buildup. It isn't just well, I'll start smoking now and maybe it'll, go away. No, it's the buildup. I mean, I actually was smoking a lot of marijuana right before I got the cancer diagnosis. And I kept finding myself not getting stoned. And I think what was actually happening is the cannabinoids were going to the cancer and not letting it spread, the metastases. See, that's where the CBD works. The CBD works in metastases. But we have to get the whole endocannabinoid system researched. They know so little of it. I mean, most of the research is being done in Spain. It's really important that we know what the endocannabinoid system actually does, because it affects our whole process. With the CBDs, we're just discovering with the epilepsy and all those childhood. I mean, what other things are there? What are available in the future? They still have law enforcement. You get 3 tickets for smoking in public, and then you go to jail. So to me, that isn't full legalization. It's a waste of time and money for both the cops and the courts. We're still into the tight control because save the children. And this actually helps the children. It saves the children's lives. I know cannabis saved my life. Medication.